down here at my bookstore today, and allow me to nerd out a little bit. I want to brag on myself. Not for anything great or outstanding, but I actually finished a book. I finished a book. I got a real bad habit of not finishing books. You get about a third or halfway in, and you just kind of lose interest. I don't know if that's neurodivergency or what, or maybe the book just isn't that good. But this, well, it wasn't the greatest book, and it was a little dry at times, but I finished it. Probably helped by the fact that I had just listened to the 6-part series put out by the Rest is History podcast by Dominic Sandbrook and Tom Holland. And this is even more in the news right now, this topic, because the BBC has a 6 or 8-part miniseries titled King and Conqueror. William the Conqueror invaded Britain and invaded England, and the newly crowned King Harold, and they had a climactic battle at Hastings. And I mean, I've been interested in this battle ever since I was a kid, or learned about it. You know, most kids do, like the medieval knights and all that jazz. And the actor playing William the Conqueror is the same actor that played Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. All right, I'm back after I had a customer come in. So rudely interrupted by a customer. Anyway, back to 1066 and the Battle of Hastings. Such a turning point for Western Europe and obviously England. I mean, this is a time period in history when the Viking attacks, the Scandinavian attacks have been trailing off, dying down. But the Normans in Normandy, France, were descended from Vikings. And so, it's kind of a roundabout way, they did get into England that way. And that year, Halley's Comet was visible over the night sky. And, you know, people in the Middle Ages placed a lot of stock in omens and things of that nature. I look forward to watching the BBC show, King and Conqueror. And then the podcast guys, the Rest is History podcast, they even have an episode talking about that. I'm going to go ahead and listen to that. I mean, after the Normans took over the power structure in England, this is when you see the building of the huge castles and, you know, the mounted knights. Because before the Anglo-Saxon England, it was mostly, you know, they mostly fought on infantry, wielding heavy battle axes. But now you got the knights and the jousting and all that stuff. Yeah, and, you know, slowly comes into existence. I just sold on eBay 30 or 40 little plastic mounted knights. Maybe that show on BBC, King and Conqueror, helped me to sell that. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to continue to pat myself on the back for finishing a book cover to cover. Why is that such a thing? Finding it hard to finish some books. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I get no shame in that, I don't guess. It's like you don't marry every person you date in life. Sometimes you get one page in, sometimes one date in, sometimes you get 2 dates in. I mean, who knows, you know? Of course, the author of this, David Howarth, very respected English historian. And check out what it says about him. It says, David Howarth, historian of Waterloo, Trafalgar, and other turning points of history, lives and writes in an ancient woodman's cottage in the remnants of the Sussex forest, 10 miles from where the Normans landed. How cool is that? Of course, Normandy would re-enter the modern-day lexicon of history due to the June 6, 1944 D-Day landings in World War II. Same region. Just, you know, it's just one of the things why I love history. It's all connected, full of analogies, full of lessons. That's why I'm a nerd.